Good evening, everybody. We're gonna wait a couple more minutes as everyone's kind of coming on, and we're gonna go ahead and get started in a few minutes.
Hey everybody. Hope you guys having a great day.
Doing awesome.
Give it another minute.
Yeah, one more minute. Let's go ahead and get started.
Yep. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm thinking it's afternoon, but it's already 7 p.m. The sun's still out there. Um, well, I hope everybody here has been having a great week and everything's been moving. I know that a lot of things here at the company have been really exciting, especially, man, I don't know if you are in the What's Up group and you keep up and all the announcements that are going on, but I know you probably saw last week pay cycle. It's one thing that we've been hitting here, and it's been hitting hard, and we see new goals being broken. Um, we have Carlos Anaya. Uh, man, what could I say? What could I say? To see somebody make $97,000 in a week, man, that's incredible. That's really incredible, and I have to really bow down and say, hey, congratulations. But at the same time, it lights a fire on everybody else's, right? Everybody wants to strive for that. And it's the example of success that makes this company unique, right? We have the people that are doing it out there. Now we just have to take advantage. We have the example. Is just go out there and do it, right? As much as doing one appointment, right? I'm going to give out a shout out to Alexis that's just been here for 2 weeks and he's already going out on appointments. He's already seeing appointments out there and possible recruits, right? He might be bringing in somebody with the license already, and he's not licensed yet, right? It's just not being scared of going out there and actually educating people and telling them what we're about. Right now, with all this drama that's going around, if you watch the news, please stop doing it because all you're going to hear is negativity, right? I hear people tell me things, but I'm like, well, I didn't know that. Whoa, I should pay attention to it. I'm in my own world, but I have my own goals, and everybody should be out there. If you talk to Carlos about what is his mindset, it's striving to his goals. He doesn't tell you what's going on in the world or what tariffs or what's not happening and all these things. So if you're out there, keep on going out there and educating. It's going to happen. The momentum starts growing. People are going to start referring you. Let people know what you're doing. Don't be a secret agent, right? That's one thing you want to do. And what we have every Tuesday night, it's beautiful because we have somebody with success and people with success teaching us what we have to do to be successful, right? And that being said, today we're in for a treat. How many of you are still in corporate America, right? How many of you talk to the CEO of the company or have special trainings with the CEO of your company that you're working with? Probably not a lot. But here at Difference, we get the privilege to have the CEO give us presentations. And today is not an exception. We have him today giving us the training. At the same time, at another link, we have guests that are going and seeing our corporate overview. But this right now is something that's growing, and I've been a member of Difference since 2015. So officially, it'll be 10 years next month that I've been with Difference. And I'm more excited than ever just to see the growth where we're at. Has it been tough? Yes. But has it been great? Yes. And have I grown? Oh, definitely. Where I was 10 years ago, where I'm now, I'm a totally different person, right? So I just want to say and encourage everybody to keep on moving forward and take notes when we're able to do these presentations and show up on Tuesdays and be there. That's one of them. Saturday, do not forget, please. There is Fast Start happening from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's a Zoom meeting. So we should show up, take notes, and learn the Fast Start. It's for everybody to learn it. If you don't know the Fast Start, you should be there. If it's the first time you're on a Fast Start, you should know what are the qualifications to get you there, right? But if you've already seen it and you don't know it, you should show up on Saturday. So that's not an excuse. Oh, I already did the Fast Start in the past. No, you should be able to present it, right? One of our philosophies is that we're supposed to be duplicatable and we have to learn it so we could teach it, right? So I'm not going to take a lot of time just going on and on and on. I'm going to pass the mic. And actually, man, I'm grateful for this because I get to hear the CEO on a Tuesday night presenting to us. And we're always into a treat when he's on the floor showing us the secrets of the success that we need here at Difference. So without saying any more, right, I'm going to pass the mic over to Dago, our CEO. And thank you very much for this opportunity. And I'll pass over the mic to you.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, Juan Carlos. By the way, I just got to share with you guys, just to piggyback on what Juan Carlos was sharing, there is a lot of momentum. I hope that you guys are staying connected. If anything, just to light a fire in you and just to keep you pushing forward and to keep you really just involved in focusing on your personal goals. My philosophy has always been, since as far as I can remember, if someone can do it, why not me? If somebody's winning, why not me? And so I hope that you feel the same way because they all breathe just like we do. They all have challenges just like all of us do. The winds of life hit us all. So it's just a matter of you committing and guys, just overcoming whatever fears, challenges, whatever comforts you may have. Because some of you might be already having some level of success or have had success, and you let that anchor you and hold you from getting to that next level. So today's topic is actually going to be a little bit more on mindset and leadership. And so there's going to be a ton of things that hopefully will resonate with you. And I hope that some of these are reminders because we all definitely need reminders every once in a while on things that we should be doing or things that we know, but we're not actually implementing or applying in our lives. So I say this from a place of as a brother to you guys. I share it with love in a way that, and this goes back to myself as well as we're going through this topic for this today's training, that you really open yourself to really listen closely and maybe just look at this a little bit more deeply. Are you everything that I'm going to go over today? Are you living this? Are you implementing this in your life? Are you thinking about these things? And if not, these are areas and opportunities for you to actually start applying them into your life. So that's my goal, is that you'll take one or two things, at least one, and you say, you know what, boom, this is what I need to focus on right now, and just really just attack it and really just try to build that habit where you're thinking about it, but then you're acting on it on a daily basis. So the principles that I'm going to cover today has nothing to do with the how-tos, has nothing to do with nut and bolts. It has all to do with you. And if you were to open up the manual, we have the manual for free. Literally, you could download the PDF. There was months and months of hours and hours and thousands of dollars invested, believe it or not, into putting together our different success system manual. And it's all there. I strongly believe that if anyone with any background, doesn't matter if it was written, gosh, at the beginning, when we launched Difference in 2011, doesn't matter with all AI technology. None of that stuff matters. How we communicate. The principles are still the principles, and what stays the same and pretty consistent over time is human nature. What it takes to win today was exactly what it took to win, uh, human nature wise, back 100 years ago. And I think it's still going to be pretty close, if not the same, 100 years from now. In other words, you've heard of principles like there's no substitution for hard work. You got to commit. You got to plant your flag. There's all these little things that you're familiar with, but really look at your life in a positive way, just objectively, and almost like pretty much saying, hey, look in the mirror and just be honest with yourself. Because here's an absolute truth that we're all aware of. And when you go to bed, before you go to bed at night and you look in the mirror, only you know the truth. And what I mean by that is only you know the level of effort you committed to. Only you know the stories that you told yourself. Does that make sense? And so today is really about challenging ourselves to get out of our comfort, to change our story, the story that we're telling ourselves, and hopefully make it a little bit better so that we could get better results and grow and have that breakthrough. I know, for instance, I'll give a prime example of this, who's living proof that's really everything's just unfolding right in front of all of us. I remember sitting down with Carlos last year. It was about May or right before he came on board, and we're looking at his business and we're sharing with him, hey, this is here's what we're doing at the company. I think it'd be amazing for us to lock arms to work together. And I could see it as clear as daylight exactly what would take place and what would happen when he transitioned over. I'm like, look, if you just keep doing what you're doing, the biggest difference is you're going to more than double your income just by making that shift. He couldn't see it because he had never achieved it. He was just, it was kind of a struggle in his mind. He's like, man, my first month. And when he came up with like the first one, I want to hit 50. I'm like, I'm seeing 100 your first month. Like I clearly can see it. But again, it's if you've never done that before, and his goal was to hit 50 and he hadn't done that before. He's come close, but he hadn't done that before. Imagine I'll get him to double that when he hadn't done it before. Does that make sense? So he literally have taken quantum leaps forward and had major breakthroughs personally beyond the finance, because once you've stretched and stretched, it can't go back. Does that make sense? You're breaking like that point of elasticity, kind of like you pulled a rubber band. Once you pull it far enough, it'll never be the same. It can't go back. And so this is what's so exciting about the trajectory that he's on, because it's just like boom, the belief level now. His new standard has a new bar has written for himself. So these are major life-changing breakthroughs. And all of us have the ability to do that, but it takes a major leap of faith. It takes this like overcoming your fear, your doubts, whatever is happening, right? He has done that. And I'm right now, I'm just like, no, you're like on track for 150. You could do 200. You got this. But it's just like, oh, you going over, you see that feeling that I've just like kind of projected out? We all have that like, oh, like it's almost, I don't know if I could do it kind of feeling. Can I really do it? Are you just kind of pulling, because all your mind just starts to play tricks on you. Are you pulling my leg? But look what's been happening. Pretty phenomenal. Same thing even with Oliver. He's having those types of breakthrough. But the one that obviously is taking leaps and bounds, like is like no, like just it's amazing. It's Carlos Anaya. So what an incredible, here he is. I'm gonna bring him in. I know that he was connecting. He's got a family um, event happening, so he was gonna plug in. He's like, I'm not gonna miss for the world of it. He's plugging in. I know Oliver today. For the last week, they were in the ER. So by the way, I think he's not on today because when I messaged him earlier, he's like, hey, they were super sick. So I know they were at the ER. So just I just want to share that. And so anyways, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. Hopefully today will be something that's great for all of us, because even in preparation for this, again, it's just a reminder of things that we should be focused on. Let me go ahead and go into share. Oh, and I almost forgot. Before I even share this, I got to share one more thing, because this is what we share every, whoops, wrong thing that I'm sharing here. Where is it at? Stop the sharing. Let me go over here. Ba, ba, ba. 1 second, guys. I have too many windows open and it's confusing. I'm confusing myself. 1 second. There it is. It was the wrong window. Oh. All right. There it is. Let me go to share. Boom. I want to share with you guys the numbers. Every week we start, and I think it's good to share with you guys just so you guys can see where we're at as a company, what the leadership is focused on, what we're tracking, what we're driving. There's two measuring matrix that we're actually driving, and that's the growth of the company. That means attracting new talent, new people either going through licensing or people that are already licensed, just bringing on board good people. I really believe that we attract great quality people that really care about others, that really want to help others, but also that want to win in their lives. Obviously, everybody has different backgrounds, but we're always looking for people, looking for an opportunity that are good quality people. That's one. The second area is obviously the services side, is being able to help clients, being able to help people in general when it comes to our services. Obviously, there's two major areas that we help people with, and that's the retirement plan and then also the insurance planning. So those are two focus. So life insurance is one of them, index annuities or annuities is the other. So as we're looking at this board here, we're measuring life and annuity. This is the production board. So ultimately, at the very end, we get compensated for production. The beautiful thing about what we do is that we get paid extremely well, as you've been noticing, to dedicate ourselves to help others. You can sleep comfortably at night. You can feel good. You should be proud of, hey, I just crushed it and made X amount of money, had an amazing month. And if you're not there yet, then get yourself to have consistency. Okay, maybe have the consistency of first helping one or two people and then try to drive that and then try to fine tune and say, hey, I want to be able to do 10,000 points. I want to do 15,000 points. You're like, well, what does that mean? We'll do training specifically on that, but you have to learn how to drive and have targets to this business, because at the end of the day, this is a business, and the goal is that you're going to run a profitable and successful business. And so you are the driving force behind that, because you have to first set the pace. You have to learn how to do the business. So the first number one at the very top, just crushing it again, leaps and bounds above everybody at 140, almost 146,000 points. And I think during the meeting, he said, hey, I think this is off. I think there's like an additional 20 something thousand points or 30,000 points. So this is being corrected. In spite of that, as you can see the numbers right here, he's like more than about three times ahead of second place. Second place is Angie, who is at 57. Most of you guys don't even know who she is. That's my CPA. I brought on board my CPA. You saw, I guess, early in the month. Was it early in the month? She made her first cycle like 77,000. She also got a bonus that she just got paid out on. I think it was like close to $5,000, which is pretty awesome. Anyways, pretty amazing. Oliver Zyman right there also had a big bonus. He's at 50,000 issued, and then so forth and so forth. So this is something that we're going over on a weekly basis. We're also driving, okay, what percentage of the business is life? What percentage of annuities? Last year, just for you guys to know, we had a balanced business. Literally, it was almost to the exact percentage, 50-50, meaning 50% production of life, 50% annuity, which is pretty awesome. This year, I'm not sure if it's because of the timing, because of the products, the way we're positioned. I think there's just a lot of things that we could actually point towards. But there's been a big shift, and the big driver right now is the retirement side on the annuities. Obviously, with that being said, there's also big chunky money being made, because there's big amounts of money being moved, actually millions of dollars being moved, which is pretty phenomenal. Now, so if we look at the production here, you can see that there's a big difference in production. These numbers I could share with you in a different time how we measure these, because millions of dollars are moved here. We take a percentage and multiply, that gives us the points. So right now, our goal is to be at 1 million in commissionable target premium and as an organization. And we're currently on pace to hit that mark by the end of the year. and we need to average 17,000 per week in commissionable premium that's paid as in compensation to the field, which is pretty awesome. The week before that, I was at 18, so now I dropped down to 17. So obviously, as we start to increase in production, as you guys start to produce, and it all adds towards the company goal. So I wanted to share this with you guys because every single app, every single family helped, every single person coming on board, you're contributing towards the bigger picture of this organization. Our goal is that by the end of the year, we're going to have 250 people at our next company event in January, which is going to be in San Diego. So we're excited about that. We just are getting started. Last year was a new beginning. This year's the theme, the new you. So this is why this topic today is very important because we've already passed the first quarter. We're now already going to finish the first month of the second quarter. So my question to you is, how do you feel about how you're participating in 2025? Are you participating different? Are you on track based on your goals and what you committed to at the beginning of the year? Or did you start the year with no goal, no direction, and really maybe you had personal things happening and you gave yourself that excuse or reason to not actually give yourself goals? Like, in other words, I hope whatever I'm saying right now, either it just motivates you, frustrates you, and if it frustrates you, good, because frustration is really the fertilizer for something big to happen if you act on it though. Okay, so use it in a positive way to say, okay, boom, I could get on track. I'm a firm believer that it's not how you start. Obviously, ideally, you want to start and hit the ground running and you want to finish strong, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. There's still a lot of year left, but not really. As you've noticed how life moves just like that. It starts to move really fast. So let's go on to the next. I want to just share with you. Hopefully this is giving you a little bit more insight. We're looking at the recruiting numbers. Our numbers are, I'm just going to say how it is. It's terrible. We could do a whole lot better based on everybody here. Everybody here. If we all said, hey, I'm going to give you $1 million. For anybody here right now and say, I'm going to give you $1 million. If all you do is go get one new direct in business, you would hang up the phone and be like, you would have someone on board now, as of yesterday, right? So what is the question or what's really going on there? It's you're not motivated by it. It's just not a thought in your mind. My question to all of us here, if it's good for any one of us here, and I mean is the opportunity, why isn't it good for the people? I really believe we're deserving of the best of the best. Look at the numbers. Look what's happening. Absolutely. I was having a conversation today with a gentleman at a dealership. He was the sales, and he was a young person, but seemed really sharp. I scheduled a time I'm going to be meeting with him, and obviously I'm going to follow through with him because it's not till I sit with him. But we're talking about the business, and I asked him, I go, how long you been doing this business? He said, I started when I was 15. I started in washing cars, and then from washing cars, I moved. I was moving cars, and from there I went to sales. I killed it in sales, and then moved me into finance. He goes, and I'm doing extremely well. He shared with me what he was doing financially, this and that. And I said, well, one thing I do know about that business is you really don't have a life. And what I mean by that, you're working 60 hours a week plus. You have to be there from like opening to close if the client, you know what I mean? So that's the nature of that business. And so he's like, yeah, I really want to do something where I'm just more in control. I have more time. And I already knew those things. I said, well, here's what's going to happen. As the older you get, the more you start to get comfortable in what you're doing because you already get used to a certain level of income. And then you start to have fear. You start to have doubt. All those things start to kick in. I'm like, buddy, you need to make a move right now because it's not going to get any easier. And if it's something that what you just said is true, then you have to be open for change. You have to be willing to do something different. And if you know this vehicle is taking up all your time and you technically don't have even time to enjoy your toys and things that you're buying, then what are you doing? And so we started talking. Anyways, it was just a good conversation, sharp individual. I'm not 100% will come out of it, but guess what? You plant seeds and you let this, you keep doing the follow-up because it's just a matter of time, it's just a matter of when. And that's the nature of prospecting. You don't know. Sometimes it's somebody that you least expect it, but deep inside, they're just hungry to just be somebody. They're tired. They're sick and tired of where they're at. They're sick and tired of having someone push their thumb on them and just tell them when to clock in, clock out, what they're worth, all that stuff. You just don't know. So let's look at these numbers. These are months to date. I mean, pretty much we go through a lot of this productivity, accountability. We start driving all that. So I'm gonna stop sharing this. I share this with you guys because I want you guys to get a glimpse. I want you guys to look at those areas that you need to be focused on so that you could be moving the knobs. Are you moving the needle forward? Are you actually getting closer to your goals? And the only two things that matter in this business, either, and this is in the most simplest way that I could put it, either you're setting up an appointment or you're in an appointment, period. But what type of appointment? It's either a one-on-one recruiting appointment or it's either a potential sales appointment or both. We're in the people business. Either you're connecting with them because you're going to either share with them what we're doing, get them in front of what we're doing, or create a strategy for them, or because you're making the recommendation. So in other words, you're setting up an appointment, you're in an appointment. That's it. I think we overcomplicate things. So it's in the beginning, it starts that way. I started that way. I still do that to this day. And then like, wait a minute, I got to keep it simple. I just need to get in front of the person and then ask them what they need or what their goals are. And when I had the gentleman in front of me, it was just like, well, what do you want to do? Do you love what you do? What do you love? What don't you like about it? What would you change if you could change anything? So then you get into their world, and that's what recruiting is about. And not only just recruiting, but it's also what do you want your future to look like? What type of income would you like to have? How would your ideal retirement look like? Does that make sense? We're in the business of helping people get to where they want to be. It's pretty amazing. So let's go ahead and dive into the training now. I just wanted to share with you that. But before that, one last thing, I got to put this up on the board. Bam! Wasn't that awesome? I just thought I'd put that up there. He actually has made more. He's made over 100,000. I think like over 103,000 or so already in the month. I think a little bit more. He should be finishing. I was like, Carlos, you're right there. They hit the 150. What the heck happened? How do you live on 100? What the heck? Awesome. So let's go ahead. Whatever it says, I got Carlos. I know he can't speak right now. I'm sure he's taking time to connect. How does it feel,
Brother.
Carlos? How does it feel to have that breakthrough?
You know what? It's honestly, it's one of those things where 18 years ago, I just wanted to make $500, and then it grew to 1,000, and then 5,000, and then 10,000, and now, we're into 100,000. And all I can say is that you just can't quit. And every training is literally a building block or foundation to get. So I'm excited, but man, I mean, that just sells me the dream and opens the mindset just to do like, okay, if I can do 100, I can do 150. And then with 150, I can do 200. So it's literally just like opening the floodgates. And we're just getting started. Like literally, we're just getting started. And that's the fun part of it. And selling the dream to my honey, right? And she literally called me today. She's like, I can't believe that you made or we made $100,000 in a single month. What? And I was just like, that's right. And so, it's hard work. It's definitely it's not easy. The business is easy, but being disciplined and consistent, that's the growth. That's what you got to put your focus on. Like right now, I'll tell you right now, we're at Disneyland, and my honey's like, all right, we're going to Disneyland. I was like, all right, well, guess what? I got to be on training as I speak right now. And that's what it takes. No excuses, no matter what, because you can always make excuses and they're fine. It won't be like, yeah, okay, no big deal. But at the end of the day, you know. And when I look at myself in the mirror, I know that I'm winning. So that's all that. That's all that matters. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you for connecting. That's awesome. So you guys heard it. You guys heard it from Carlos the man, Carlos the Annihilator. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into today's training. Let me move this, make this a little bit smaller. Make sure that I'm closing all these other screens just so that I don't get confused with them. All right. Let's dive in. Share screen. Here we goes. So the topic today is the 10 keys to becoming a great leader. How to go from possibility thinker to impossibility achiever. And this is literally Carlos going from a possibility to an impossibility. And what I mean by impossibility, it's your impossibility. You're having your breakthrough. So that's the topic today. So the first step or the first key is desire. 220 or 212 degrees of burning desire. You must have the case of I want to. You've got to output some logs on that fire and you've got to stroke it because a burning white desire, heat desire, you've got to achieve big success. So I can't help but think of when I think of the burning desire, thinking about Napoleon Hill, and he describes that as one of the key principles, one of the key attributes or common denominators across the board with all the successful people that he studied over the 20 plus years to put in this incredible book of really putting all the attributes and all the key factors that made people successful. And one of them was all these great leaders or these people that were very successful had this burning desire to not only just become successful, but to achieve what they wanted to achieve, whether it was some kind of invention or something that they brought out to the marketplace or to the world to make a difference, whatever it was, they all had this insane burning desire. I mean, if you talk to Carlos, don't you guys ever sense that, have that feeling, that sense of urgency, that burning fire? He's always like, go, go, go. He's like just fired up. The reason why he's so fired up is because he's laser focused on hitting a specific target. He's not letting nothing stop him. He hasn't shared with you all these personal things that has happened in his life since he got started with difference. There's been countless or pretty heavy personal things that have happened that for anybody would have held him back. But he did not have any excuse. Just like today, look, he disconnected. You know, he could have been with his friend. I told him, hey, no, spend time with your friend. Like, no, I gotta show up. I gotta show up. I'm not gonna let loose on the pedal. And I made a commitment and I'm showing up. And here he was, he's connected, even though he's at a family event. So that's what it takes to win. Now, I'm not telling you to do exactly the way Carlos do it, but you just have to be the best upbeat version of yourself. You just have to commit and give it your all, but you have to want it bad. I'm a firm believer also that whenever you want something really bad, there's going to be this obstacle that gets thrown in front of you right when you're getting closer. It's almost like this obstacle that shakes you up and says, how bad do you want it? And unless you have this crazy, insane, obsessive, just burning, it looks obsessive, right? It comes across to the people like you're just almost selfish and obsessive because you're just so laser focused on hitting this target and achieving where we're trying to hit that it looks that way. But it's not that. It's just that it's so deep within you that you just the thought of it will make you sick to your stomach of you not hitting it. Like if right now, if you close your eyes and just the thought of you not being able to hit your goal or achieving why you do this business, it should make you stir you up and make you emotional. Just the thought of you not being able to hit it. So you have to have that inside you. The second is the willingness to work. There is no way in the world that you'll get something for nothing. There's got to be a sacrifice in there. And in this business, it's the sweat equity, put it in the time, put it in the legwork, get in front of people, doing the appointments. I could tell you this, Carlos, Oliver, Heidi, the people that are having success, they've done the only difference between them and you, one of the major differences, they just have done way more appointments than you. They had just at it, connecting in front of people, kneecap to kneecap, whether it's over the internet or in person or pop buys or at their home or at the office. They're just connecting day in, day out with people. They're planting seeds, they're doing follow-ups. They're just nonstop connecting and they're in front of people. So it doesn't matter how much desire you have. If you aren't willing to work hard, you're in trouble. You're always look for the shortcuts. There's a lot of people that desire millions of dollars and they'll just go out there and rob from people, rob a bank, figure out a way to hack things. They do all these illegal things, right? Sometimes have you ever wondered, like, why, guys, that's so smart in the sense that it was whatever they created to go do something illegal. Why did they just focus on something positive and they would probably achieved it in a positive way? Have you ever thought about that? But again, there is no shortcut. You have to be willing to put in the work, put in the time. If you're someone that's technical and you need the nuts and bolt type of training or the information, guess what? Information's everywhere. The product providers always have online trainings as well. They give all these brochures, they have online trainings. Well, just dive in deep, but move fast, move aggressive. Don't wait for someone to feed you that information. You go out and seek, you ask the questions, you pick up the phone, you do whatever it takes, but move fast, be aggressive. So be willing to work hard. Number three is belief. If you read again, Think and Grow Rich on page 36, if you get Think and Grow Rich, in there it gives you a step-by-step guide of how to turn your desires into gold. And so looking at that section, there's literally 6 steps to being able to do that. Step 5 especially is, and 5 and 6 is where you write it out in great detail and then you read it over and over and you vividly imagine it, you're envisioning it, you're tasting it, you're feeling it. Before personally I've hit certain goals, is you have to feel it like it's already happening for you. I'll give you a simple one. I remember when I first got started in the business, I was so scared and nervous that people were going to ask me, well, how much are you making? I'm sure if you knew, you could raise your hand. You're like, "Ugh," you get nervous because people are gonna ask me, well, how much money you're making? And either you're gonna lie or you're gonna tell them the truth. Well, I'm not making nothing yet, and you feel embarrassed about it. You're brand new. Well, guess what? If you went to school and say you studied at a university, if people ask you, hey, how come you're not a doctor yet? Or how come you're not a teacher or the engineer, whatever it is that you're studying for, you wouldn't be embarrassed about it. You'd be like, well, I'm still going through the studying. I'm still going through my courses. I still haven't graduated. Well, guess what? It's the same thing here. I'm going through the training, but I'm excited about it. I'm learning. The beautiful thing is you could be learning and earning at the same time as you're growing. You don't have to know all the answers because you have leverage. You have people that are around you that are experts that can help you. But writing it down, knowing first what you want and defining it as clearly as possible, you'll be so surprised how things will come to pass. I'll give you an example. The first one was, I remember I was brand new and I used to tell people, and I don't know, I just psyched myself out about this, or I was just frustrated. I had a chip on my shoulder, or I wanted to prove to my engineer friends, I wanted to put it in front of them like, hey, they laughed at me. They said I was joining something that I was doing, that I was crazy, blah, 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 blah. And so I took that as a way to just like, oh, I'm going to show you. And I used to tell my teammates when I was brand new, I was like, look, I can't wait. We're going to open up an office in front of Raytheon, which is my old company. We'll open up right in front of them so I could look out the window and wave at my engineer friends. And so one day I could invite them over. And you know what ended up happening? Literally a year and a half from the point when I got started, boom, we had an office in a very beautiful building, Class A, right across the street, literally from Raytheon. And from my window, literally, I could see Raytheon. And guess how many of my friends came over to come visit me? One. And when he walked in, he was one of those friends that would laugh at me. And he was looking at all the accolades, looking at my wall, and looking at all how beautiful the office was. He's like smiling. He's like, I always knew you were gonna make it. I'm like, man, inside I was like, you were one of the worst ones. But I was like, whatever. Doesn't matter because those people that you're waiting on, that you think they're gonna join you, guess what? If they're saying I'm gonna see how you're doing and then I'll join you, guess what? They never will. And if they do, I don't know. Maybe they won't do much, or maybe they will. Who knows? But don't wait on people. And at the end of the day, use that as a way to fuel you. You got to believe in you. You have to really bank on yourself. One thing that I could count on me personally, just being open with you, is my work ethic because I could control that. I could control the effort, the hours I put into it. You could control that too. Everybody here, you could control that. And so that starts to increase belief. When you start to keep promises to yourself, it starts to increase your confidence, your belief, and you start to believe a whole lot more that this is possible for you because you start to get little wins and then they start to stack. And so keep your promises and start with the small ones. If you say, hey, I'm going to get one direct this month, or I'm going to help one family this month, then you work your heart out and do whatever it takes to make that happen and leverage the people. But don't be shy about it and don't have it as a secret. You tell everybody here because we're here to help you and we'll help you hit that mark. And once you do that, maybe then the next month, say, hey, I'm going to do two, or hey, I'm going to do it again. Build that consistency. But either way, you start to keep your promises to yourself. You show up. Just like they say going to the gym, the hardest part is what? Showing up. And it's more about keeping the promise to yourself that when you don't feel good, when you're tired, when it's raining, it doesn't matter. You show up. And you show up, why? Because it's a promise to yourself. That's what it comes down to. So when you write your goal out, you build that habit of constantly visualizing it, reading it. The reason why you're reading it out loud is because you're putting it out into the world. When you're writing it down, guess what? You're putting it out into the world. It came from the mind, and now you put it on paper and you project it out into the world. And these little things, they may sound maybe like, I don't know, just do it. Just do it. Read that page. In fact, read the whole book. Read it 3 times. Read it more than 3 times. Read it every single year. But actually act on what it's telling you to do. Number 4 is 100% commitment. You make the decision that you're going to put out 100% effort every day. Now, of course, there's going to be times where you fall off track. Of course, there's going to be times where you can't put the 100, but you still keep moving forward no matter what. And that's the whole thing. There's times where, for instance, I'll keep using the analogy of the goal of the gym. There's plenty of times where I'll show up and I'm just dragging my butt in the gym, but I'm still moving, and I still just more for the sake that I felt like, okay, I showed up. I did break a little sweat. It's not like my best workout, but I showed up. Same thing with the business. It's when you don't feel like doing it that you get the best appointments. It's when someone says no and you're like, oh, that hurts. Instead of being sad, you pick up the phone, you make another phone call, you go do another pop by. That could be the one that's the game changer that makes the whole shift. And you look at those other appointments, the ones that you got rejected, or the ones that said no, or the ones that said, I'll think of whatever. Think of those as opportunities, or take those as opportunities to become better. To, hey, I could have said things differently. To this day, I still do that today. Like, oh, I could have said it this way. But guess what? You could pick up the phone again and say, hey, look, I totally dropped the ball here. I forgot to mention this. Or, hey, you know what? I got to get you in front of Carlos. I got to get you in front of Oliver. I think they'll be able to share with you in more detail. They're an expert in that area, whatever it is. So commit. The commitment will only come after the belief. Like literally, if you knew right now that you'd make $1 million this year by really giving it 100% in this business, you'd be giving it 100%. The reason why you're not getting the results is you yet don't believe. So if there was one thing I could wish upon on anybody, everybody here, is that you actually believe that you could get results, that you could have success, that you could also start having success like Carlos. Because if you believed, then you will commit. You would commit a lot more. So for instance, I was talking to that young gentleman today. I said, look, the reason why, and this is I said, the reason why it would be even more difficult for you. I wanted to challenge him because, I know he was confident in what he does. It's a totally different thing. I said, I think it'd be way more difficult to you. Well, why do you say that? Number one, it'll be very difficult for you because you're comfortable. You're already making a certain level of income. And I know you think that that's great. And I think that's good for you. I think you're doing great, but compared to what, right? So, but the other part why it would be even more difficult is because you got to overcome your comfort. That's one. The second one is because of your time, because I already know you probably put in 50, probably 60 plus hours every week to get what you earn. Is that true or not true? He said, yeah. So he's really thinking, he's kind of like in a daze a lot just because you have to challenge yourself. And at the end of the day, there's going to have to be a sacrifice. And the sacrifice you make today, literally, when you look back, you're going to be talking about all the stories of the obstacles you overcame and who you had to become to get there. And that's going to be the sweet part. That's going to be the juicy part that you enjoy the most because it's the growth part. Does that make sense? I don't think Carlo really talks. He could get excited for a minute. It's like, oh, I just earned this and that. But I could promise you this. I'm sure he's got some pretty juicy stories and experiences of the in-between of what it took because there's a lot. Things are not ever smooth sailing. And that's the part that's pretty exciting and pretty awesome. So you got to learn to love that process. So it's impossible. It's the impossible, and it goes against nature to expect to make 100% commitment to something that you don't totally believe in. So number 5 is being repetitious and systematic. For a lot of people, the biggest challenge is that they get bored really fast. And when they get bored, and I think that's just human nature for all of us, is when we get bored, you want to tend to do things differently, or you want to make it exciting, or you want to add a sixth, there's probably 5 steps to a process and you want to add the 6th one, or you want to skip a couple because you don't want to go through the monotony of just like the repetitious stuff. It's kind of boring, it's simple. And that's the part that ends up killing a lot of people. You'll have people that have a ton of success and then they wonder why they're not having success anymore. It's because they're skipping steps. They become lazy. They become bored. They don't, they just get tired of repeating. So if you really think about this for a second and step back and look at our business, yes, people are very different, have similar needs. But yes, even though each client or potential client has a different strategy, but it's still repetitious that we're asking the same questions to get into their world, to understand them, to help them get to where they want to be. It's still repetitious having to input stuff. It's still repetitious taking people through you see what I'm saying? So for most people, they fatigue, they get tired, they get bored. And so the first place to start is making a total commitment to becoming a student of our different success system, but making a total commitment to keep doing it and keep repeating and keep staying on path for as long as it takes. And then when you get there, you still keep doing it. There was an old story that was shared with the student asked this very wise individual. He asked him, "How did you become so wise?" And he said, "I carried water and chopped wood." Well, then when you became wise, what did you do? I carried water and chopped wood. In other words, he kept doing the same things. And that's how he became wise. And he's just done it over many years. So keep it very simple, guys. You first must become a student of the business before you could get into the mastery, but commit to mastery. And that's just going to be long term for as long as it takes. Well, how long does it, people ask, well, how long does it take for me to learn this business? You're always going to be learning. You're always growing. You're always going to be, there's things always changing and evolving. So you make a commitment to learning and growing. So number 6 is know-how. You must have knowledge. Remember that knowledge doesn't produce activity. Activity produces knowledge. And this is kind of counterintuitive for a lot of people because they're like, I first need to learn about all the products. I first got to get licensed. I first got to do this before I go into the field, before I do appointments. I first got to know everything. And you're totally confused. By the way, this is why I firmly believe you have to take that first step with faith. Believe in us that we're going to actually guide you and share with you how to properly do this business. Have faith and belief that we're not taking from you. Because in the beginning, everyone's like this. No, this is my market. These are my people. No, no, no. Once I get licensed, everyone's going to come to me. It doesn't work that way. Oh, I need product training. I need product training. I need to know what I'm talking about. I'm like, well, number one, if you honestly understood this business or even just the way we learn as human beings, we learn a lot from modeling. We learn from, if you could take someone who's a very successful person, if you could go on the field with Carlos, because how many of you guys would want to be in the field with Carlos? You could actually do that. Number one, if you could earn his time by setting up appointments. He's got his own appointments, he's all booked out. But here's what I would be doing. I would be setting up as many appointments as possible. In fact, that's what I did as a brand new trainee. I was I was hogging up all the top trainers, setting up appointments, and then my teammates, I taught them to do the same because I wanted all the focus and all the attention to be on all the activity they were producing by setting up appointments. And here's the beautiful part about that. Not only did we leverage all the top producers to be helping grow our organization, but we're also empowering all our agents and our team, and even including myself, because I was learning in the process. I was learning how to recruit people hands-on in real appointments. They were recruiting people on my team for me as I was learning. They were selling in my market, family, friends, etc. And people are like, oh, they're taking for you. Oh, you're so dumb. But no, you're the dumb one. You don't get it. You don't see it. Why? Because who's going to end up winning? I'm actually learning. That's just small in comparison. So that's the way you got to view it. You got to view it like it's taking someone in the field. And this is one thing that's so powerful about our learning process at Difference is the hands-on field training experience process. You're taking someone who's seasoned, who's successful into the field in front of, say, your uncle and aunt, your best friend and wife, whatever, and you get to leverage them. They make you shine. They make you look good. They get you referrals. You get to see the process from A through Z. In other words, they're super excited that you brought them someone of value. And guess what? Inside, you're like, oh, your confidence boosts. You've taken notes. You feel good about what we do. You feel proud, and you're getting results. That's pretty incredible in my mind. Because if you were to go around anywhere in corporate America and you went to your boss, hey, teach me how to get your job, guess what they're doing? Ooh, stay away from me. You're trying to take my job. If you go to most sales organization, you try to ask them hey, how did you do this? How do you create sales? They're like, I'll give you a little bit, but I'm going to share with you my secrets. Does that make sense? Here, we want you to become successful. In fact, your success is our success. So there's a vested interest. So there's no way in the world that we could take from you guys. In fact, we want to empower you, we want to equip you, we want to help you become more successful. So your activity will produce knowledge. So how do you learn about index annuities? In the field. That's the best way you learn. How you learn about IULs? In the field. How you learn about it? In the field. It's literally hands-on. I could give you a manual on taking apart an engine, but there's nothing like getting the tools and wrenches and taking it apart, putting it together yourself. And then better having a master, person, the mechanic that's helping you there and guiding you. So make sure you're doing it correctly or giving you tips because everything's got its little tweaks, right? That's the know-how. It's hands-on. Number 7 is relentless inevitability. You must have a relentless inevitability through the following the system. You become repetitiously predictable and dynamically methodical until you gain experience. Having a system protects you from yourself. You know that? I needed that. I needed a process. I needed to know step by step what to do. I related it to like in my educational path when I went into engineering, obviously I did a lot of math. The reason I felt very confident in math was because I was very good at copying. Here's what I mean by copying. I was very good at copying steps. I could see the steps. If I could see step 1 through, okay, boom, I could see that formula. I could follow that guide. Same thing with our business. We're very systematic, therefore we're very predictable. We just have to follow the steps. There's 6 steps, 8 filters in our business. Literally. Our one-on-one presentation is a 6-step one-on-one winning presentation. Everything that we do is all broken down into bite-sized pieces, and there's a process, there's a reason why those steps are there. Don't change it. Don't recreate the wheel. So become repetitively predictable and dynamically methodical until you gain experience. Experience is the key to greatness, as I just mentioned earlier. Number 8, and this is a big one, because most people are scared of this and therefore they don't take action or they don't even talk to people because they're scared of failure. You need to have a high failure quotient. A high failure quotient, if you don't have one, you're in trouble. This means that your IQ, that you're more reliant on IQ, in other words. So for instance, I'll give you an example of a teammate when I was brand new. His name was Matt Ing. Matt Ing, I remember he went like on 10 appointments, and one of my teammates, and Carlos knows this, Jason came up to me and said, "Hey, oh my God, I'm really concerned. Matt has done like 10 appointments and they've all rejected him. He's messing up all his market, like he's doing it all wrong. In other words, he's not allowing us to come and fill. He's just messing it all up." And I'm like, "Man, that's awesome." And they're like shocked. "Well, what do you mean that's awesome?" It's awesome because he still keeps moving forward and he keeps trying and he's not giving up. He's not allowing those failures. And I'm sure he's getting better. And then he did become better at the business. That's pretty awesome. Same thing with myself. In my experience, I remember the first 6 appointments in a row, they all rejected me. They all said no. And when my mentor called me, she goes, "How do you feel? What's happening?" They all said no, but I'm fired up. I was fired up because I knew I was getting better and I was adjusting my pitch or adjusting my presentation. So failure quotient, what does it take to knock you down? Literally. And you kind of allow someone saying no. They're not saying no to you. This is the way I've always viewed it. It's like, how can I get better? Obviously, I didn't do a great job of painting the picture of how they could benefit from this or how this opportunity can really help them get to where they want to be. So how can I get better? So don't take it personal. It's always a way for you to improve. So can you get back up one more time every single time you get knocked down? Your ability to overcome obstacles. It's like a watch. You gotta keep take a licking to keep on ticking. Number 9 is vision. People follow people who are visionary. The scriptures tell us that when there is no vision, the people will perish. Lack of vision is one of the biggest obstacles to great leadership. And this is literally why you have to challenge yourself to think beyond yourself. Like, I mean, all of us start in this one place where you're just thinking about what you want to achieve for yourself. And it's understandable. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all start there. But once you start to hit your goals, you're like, wait a minute, like there's a whole lot more to this than just myself. And I'm a firm believer of this philosophy that if you help people get to their goals, you're gonna get to your goals. They just naturally happen. And if you focus on building people, even though it could be challenging because you're coaching, you're working with them, at the end of the day, it's also one of the most rewarding. And it's pretty incredible. Like I love, I'm passionate. I really love helping my teammates win and seeing them have success. I'm not taking credit for it at all, but if I could have some kind of contribution of a little bit, it's exciting just to be a part of that ride. Like seeing my teammates win and the ones that are winning, it's pretty incredible. Or even seeing somebody that, was about to give up or that was just really overcome came some pretty challenging obstacles, but just kept on pushing forward. It doesn't mean that they have to have the ultimate level, but just to see them not give up and to keep pushing forward for their family, for their loved ones, for themselves, that's pretty incredible. Number 10 is a director of motivation. Well, what exactly is that? Director of motivation. And this is for those of you that want the desire to build an organization, that want to be into management, that want to lead a team, is you must first become a master motivator. And by motivator, I don't mean like rah-rah. I mean pushing people forward, getting them to show up to trainings like this. You just have to direct them to show up. So leaders must make a difference. When you recruit someone, you do two things. First, you share your goals. You let them know they are dealing with a leader who's going someplace. Second, you help them set their goals and you help them accomplish their goals. Period. Like, I mean, think about this for a second. Like right now, it wouldn't make any sense if our conversations weren't about helping you get to your goal. Because at the end of the day, even though I shared the company goal, it's what's in it for you. Like if we could help you become more successful, we could help you get to your goals. Trust me, the company will get to their goals. The vision of where we're headed is going to come to pass. It will happen. But it's about creating successful leaders, successful individuals within the organization. It's the only way that we're going to be able to connect to thousands and thousands of people that we want to help and bring on board as well. So let me check on my time. I just want to make sure. Gosh, we finished right 3 minutes before. I wanted to leave it open for discussion with you guys. Is there anybody here that would like to just share if there's something that resonated with you, something that you just want to voice out loud in today's conversation? Um, I'm fired up personally because this training to me just takes me back to from when I was brand spanking new and I was just trying to make $500 in a month just to pay my cell phone bill, my utility bills. That was the beginning. My biggest vision was, oh my God, if I could make 10,000 in 1 month, I've made it. That was my vision. Like, I understand we all, and I'm sure Carlos just mentioned the same, and it's okay. But it starts again, you start to get those little wins, you start to get a little bit belief, a little bit more belief, and then your vision gets it's more and more stretched. So I think Sandra, I think you're unmuted yourself. Oh, oops. I thought maybe you wanted to share. Does anybody want to share? I think we're muted. I don't know if I
Sorry.
there you go.
I think vision is the most important thing. If you can really visualize what you're doing, how much you want to make, visualize yourself in the appointment, speaking to the client, getting, overcoming objections, staying firm, staying direct, listening, making sure the client is speaking. If you are able to visualize that and know that you are going to have to go through some steps to get there, I think that's the biggest thing. And then you could, of course, visualize how much you want to make and visualize, closing deals and visualize, getting awarded for it, But at the end of the day, I think when you visualize, I think that's when you can really, really succeed and get to where you want to go.
Awesome. By the way, taking this opportunity, share with us about your appointment. I saw that you had a great appointment today. Share with us what took
Sure.
place.
So I had an appointment today. It was a Zoom call because I had already met with the salon owner. The salon has 6 full-timers and 2 part-timers out in Laguna Beach. And it turns out that they are expanding. They just went through an expansion. They don't have a lot of money. And this is what I learned today based on, what we had talked about, Dago. I went through fact finding. So today our call was only 15-20 minutes. It was very short, but the owner basically said, I don't offer 401k. I don't have any money I could put towards it as an owner, but you had mentioned that you had other products and services that you could offer to my employees. And we have one employee who needs to do a rollover because he just came to the salon a month ago. And he was telling me that his own wife, who is also a hairstylist there, she has a cow saver, but she hasn't put any money in it since 2022. He told me the balance, it was a low balance. And he said, we need to do something for her. And I said, absolutely, that's something we can do. But, at the end of the day, he was the one doing all the talking, not me. It was quite interesting. He wanted me to know everything that was going on in that short period of time. And it was great to be able to ask the right questions, understand, they are employees of the salon. They're not independent contractors. He pays them hourly and a commission for every haircut or, style, whatever they're doing. So it's a very interesting concept, but they don't have any other benefits besides, like medical. They don't have anything to do with investments or retirement.
That's
So
awesome. That's awesome. And the best part about it is you're starting to see the flow, how people just open up and they share with you everything what their needs are and what their concerns are and what they're really looking for. And they're trying to find guidance, and that's pretty amazing. And
yeah, it
you're
worked
taking
out
notes.
really well. So I'm doing a proposal and I'm going to provide him with some samples of what we can do. And then he's going to share it with his wife, and then we're going to come with a game plan on meeting each of the employees. So it's
Awesome.
interesting. It was a great connection. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, good job. And
Thank you.
the best part that I gotta first give you kudos for is the initiation. You planned the conversation, and then from there you set the appointment.
Mhm.
And so now you're following through. So that's pretty awesome. So
All right. Thank
and
you.
now the other somebody I want to actually pick on in a good way. She's been consistent. She's been on the chat. Hey, I just got 5 new numbers, or hey, I just talked to 5 people. Here's what I'm doing. And she just got a direct a couple of days ago. It's Ms. Dolores. And you could share with us. I love your passion, your commitment towards the growth, and I'm seeing that. I just want to know that just want you to know you're on the radar. Everyone's hearing you. You are. They see you active, and you're putting up the building aspect of it. So I just want to just maybe share how are you doing it? Like, what are you saying? Like, are you planning? Are you doing it as you go? Like, are you sending out mailers? Which I don't think you are, but let's what are you doing?
No, actually, it was an event. My son's friend had a surprise party on the 19th of April, and I got to meet a lot of people. And it turned out that um, when I met the people, uh, we just had a simple conversation, and they would ask me, "So what do you do?" No, well, I would ask them, "What do you do? What do you do for a living?" And they would open up, and I got about 5 numbers. Some had retirement that they're going to need to roll over, and some also one of them I got to get back to, and she is the Cal Savers again. She
Mhm.
works for a company. She's in charge of the insurance department. She's got, there's employees there. They're not happy with the company that they're working with right now. And so she wants us to come out, give a presentation. I got to get back to her and find out how many people we'll be sitting in front of. And that was just one of my 5 on
That's
the
awesome.
um, on the 19th. The other ones, oh well, there is another one on the 19th, on April 19th. Uh, it's a person that we met way back. My husband used to coach her son in football. Actually, it was Carlos Jr. and her son actually used to play football when they were youth, when they were like, I don't know, 12 years old. And she was at my home, and we got a conversation going. And she's going to be retiring, she wants to retire in another year, but she's scared. I think she's scared because she doesn't know if the money's going to run out, if she's going to not have enough money, and how long is her retirement money going to last her. And so we're going to also get back. We're
That's
going to get back.
awesome. That's awesome.
Um, we got to. So that's a few out of the 5 on the 19th.
Wow.
The other one, well, I got another 5 I attended a funeral service
Everywhere.
on the 25th, April 25th on Friday. There was a lot of people that we met up with. And again, we hadn't seen a lot of people. It's been about 15 years. We got caught up, got their phone numbers. We'll get back. We'll get
That's
back together.
awesome. But the thing that I want to just share, and I hope everyone's seeing this, is that it's on your mind. You're acting on it. You're not just like, because sometimes we're like, oh, I should have said something, but we held back because we're shy. But it's once you build that habit of just always just asking questions, they tell you what they're, and you're like, you know what? Since I'm glad you mentioned that. Maybe we should get together sometime. Let's exchange numbers. And it's just casual. It's not, you know what I mean? So it's just at the end of the
Yes.
day, if we could help them, and that's awesome. So good job on that. Keep it up, and I'm just proud of you.
And Damien, I'm so glad. I hope everyone has already got to meet Damien. Uh, Damien, I actually, my husband, his father, Damien's father, actually um, requested my husband to go out and service his vehicle. So we went to his home in Newbury Park, and I can't remember what day that would have been, like on a Friday about 2 weeks ago. And we got talking also, and he's like, I keep my career options open. He's like, my dad and I have been talking about the financial industry. I do got some money. I got to do something with it. Um, and then we're just, well, give me your number and I'll get back to you. And I did. I followed up, scheduled the appointment, and put him with Carlos. And here he
Awesome.
is. He's been working with.
Awesome. Well, good stuff. Well, guys, everybody, appreciate you, everybody. We're gonna go ahead. I just looked at we went over our time. Thank you, Doris. Thank you,
Oh yes,
everybody.
welcome.
Thank you,
Thank you for.
and you guys just keep up the great work. And for those of you, just do your best to get your name on the board, get your name on there, and
Yes.
start to build that habit or that success track. So, all right,
Yeah.
guys, you guys have an incredible night. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Dago.
Thank you.
Thank you.